Hello, 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 my loves. As always, I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. So, welcome to another edition of the weekly Astro Forecast for the week of June 17th through 23rd, 2023. I am your host and your favorite astrologer, Mel of Divine Feminine Works, where I help people unlock their divinity and discover their magic. So, if this is our first time meeting, welcome. And as always, if you are returning, welcome back. So this channel is everything astrology, spirituality, and manifestation. So if those are the things you like, if those are the things you love, or if those are the things you want to learn more about, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you'll always be notified when I come out with new content. All right, my love. So welcome to a new day, a new week. And this week we are welcoming a new season. So we're all about to feel a very I feel like every time we change seasons, you definitely feel it energetically speaking, right? But there's something about Gemini to Cancer season that kind of slows you down a little bit, which can be a very good thing, especially right now. All right. Like there's definitely a lot going on. That Gemini energy is really Gemini-ing. So you may have your mind on overdrive. You may be doing the most. You may be really socializing out and about all over the place. All of that is going to begin to change this week because we have a new season. We've got a full moon, plus we've got two planets changing signs. So, this is one of the weeks in June where we have a lot of dynamic astrological energy. All right. So, it's definitely going to be an interesting week nonetheless. All right. So, before we get into all of the details, of course, housekeeping and announcements. So, if you are joining me here on the live, thank you so much for tuning in. I sincerely appreciate you. Say hi on your way in and hit that like button as well. It lets the algorithm know that you like this content. So, it'll push it out to other people who may like it as well. So, it definitely helps the channel. Right. And if you are joining me on the replay, I appreciate you just as much. Hopefully, you find everything that you are looking for in this broadcast. And if that is the case, hit that like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell if you haven't already. All right. So, in terms of announcements, this week, as a matter of fact, tomorrow, I'm going to be going live to talk about the upcoming full moon in Capricorn. So, we have a full moon. The full moon of the month is in Capricorn. It's going down on Friday. So, I'll be going live tomorrow. I believe at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time to discuss everything about the full moon. So set notifications so you don't forget and tap in at that time. All right. And this is actually an interesting full moon because in June, we have a full moon in Capricorn. And then in July, we have another full moon in Capricorn. So we have two full moons in the same sign back to back, which although it's not completely rare, is not something that we experience very often. So it says a lot about the time that we're living in right now and sort of what themes are going to be emphasized between June and July. All right. So tap into my live tomorrow about the full moon in Capricorn. And then next week, I'll be going live to discuss the astrology for July. All right. So just keep all of that in mind. Now, if you are someone who is interested in your horoscope, but you have no idea where to look, or perhaps what you're seeing on the internet is just not resonating with you, then you will want to consider subscribing to my text service where you will get your weekly horoscope texted to you every Monday. Short, sweet, to the point, seems to really resonate with people, and people really seem to like it. So if you're interested, you are going to want to text the word ZODIAC to the number 855-826-5544. And in case you missed that, that information will be in the description box below. All right. So, apart from that, let's say you are brand spanking new to astrology and you have no idea what's going on. Or maybe you know a little bit about astrology. Maybe you know your sun sign, you know a little bit of the jargon, but you're still kind of lost. Don't worry, I've got you covered. All right. So, I created this thing called the Astrology Basics Cheat Sheet, which is exactly what it sounds like. It is a short PDF document that gives you a quick summary on all of the things you need to know to start studying and understanding astrology. Mainly what I like to call the 4 pillars of astrology, which are the planets, the houses, the signs, and the aspects. All right. It's an 11-page PDF document, so it's short, but still lengthy enough, right? That gives you a summary of all of these things so that you can start committing them to memory and start understanding what's going on in the world of astrology. Because regardless of what anyone says or doesn't say, astrology is indeed a science. And like any science, it requires a good deal of study. So to help you start studying, I created this cheat sheet. So if you're interested, the link will be in the description box below. All you need to do is drop your email address and you will be good to go. All right. And finally, by way of announcements, you will want to consider becoming a roommate, which is becoming a member of our channel membership. All right. Now, as a channel member, AKA a roommate, you get exclusive roommate videos, early access to the general videos, plus you get 20% off all of my products and services forever. All right. It's a great way to not only get more content, but to also support the channel. All right. And as more people start signing up for channel memberships, I'll start offering different things like exclusive live streams, more videos geared toward learning more about astrology, spirituality, and manifestation. All right. So it's really a great deal. Again, great for extra content and a great way to support the channel. So if you're interested, the link will be in the description box below. All right. So that's it by way of announcements and housekeeping. So let's get into it. Like I said, new week, new season. We go from the hustle and bustle and busyness of Gemini, and we slow things down a little bit and we get a little more comfy. We get a little more emotional, a little more sensitive when the sun moves into Cancer. And that is going down this week. Now, the other thing about this week that is profound in terms of not only the astrology, but sort of the meaning behind the astrology. So, Cancer season coincides with the summer solstice, at least here in the northern hemisphere. And the summer solstice is when we experience the most hours of light, aka it is the longest day for us here in the northern hemisphere. It's summer, it's warm, things are heating up, and things are a lot brighter. So we're at a time when we're being exposed to more light. Not only does the sun energize, but it sheds light on everything, right? It sort of uncovers the truth. And light is spirit, light is spirituality, right? So, this is a time where we have the ability to really see things for what they are. We have this dose of reality, we have this dose of enlightenment, right? That the summer solstice just brings to us by way of spirituality. So it's not, if you're looking at the astronomy of it, the science of it, yes, the summer solstice. I don't know the complete, because there's the Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, that whole thing. I can't really explain that. But I will say, the mundane explanation is that it's the day with the longest hours of daylight. However, what exactly does that mean? It means that we are bathed in light right now. So truths can be revealed, right? It's a time of enlightenment. And even more so because not only is it the summer solstice, but we have a full moon this week. So the sun is at its all-time high, right? It's the highest point in the sky. And then we have the moon completely illuminated. So this is a week that will definitely shed light on things. Maybe it's not going to shed light in a way that is extremely obvious, right? Whenever we're talking about the moon, even though when it's the full moon, the moon is completely illuminated, it's very subtle. It's under the surface. However, that ability to experience enlightenment is only heightened because the sun is also at its peak as well. Now, that is sort of the basis for the energy for the week, right? Lots of light. However, we don't just look at things in a vacuum, right? We sort of look at how things interplay with each other. And the two other things that I want to say about sort of how the astrology works into this theme of light is that We still have quite a bit of energy in Gemini, specifically Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter will remain in Gemini for the next year. And there was a phrase that I came upon today when I was reading and doing research. And the phrase was, words are clothed in light. I'm going to repeat that. Words are clothed in light. And this really sums up the theme for this week, because we've got Jupiter in Gemini, which is our words, and then clothed in light. I just explained the sun and the moon are both lit, literally, this week. So our words can really carry the truth. Our words can really illuminate. Our words can really bring positivity into our lives. It always can, right? I'm not saying that this is the only week that this is going to happen, but the way that the cosmic climate is set for this week, it's like this theme is going to be emphasized. So mind what you say, right? Like, there's nothing. How can I say this? I'm a little bit at a loss for words today, but it's like your ability to create with your words is super potent right now. It's super powerful. And you can really shed a lot of light. You can really lighten up your life this week with your words. So think about what you want to speak into existence. What do you want to manifest? What lightness? Is that a word? I don't even know. Girl, right. What do you want to shed light on in your life? What darkness do you want to cast away in your life? You have the ability to really do that this week. So think about that. Spend some time in quiet contemplation and reflection, thinking about what you want to give light and life to. Because that's exactly what we are doing this week. Okay. So definitely keep that in mind. And there's nothing you can hide under the light of the sun. When the sun is at its highest point, you see things for really what they are. And as sobering as that may be, it's also a great place from which to change. If you don't like what you're seeing, if you don't like what you're experiencing, understand that your words are clothed in light. You can change it by merely speaking something new into existence. And play with this. I know I've said this so many times before, but we tend to take our creative abilities, our natural creative abilities so seriously sometimes. Like we're like, I want that new car. I want that husband, right? No, you got to play with it. You got to have fun with it. You have to be lighthearted. You have to relax. Relájate, okay? You can do this, right? But seriously, give some thought to what you want to cast out of your life at this time. What do you want to light up? What do you want to energize? What do you want to have be do? So this is a great week for that. All right. So with that being said, let's get into the highlights and see exactly what we have going on for the week. All right. So first and foremost, we have what I like to call Mother Nurture. And this is the plethora of Cancer energy that we're going to begin to experience this week. So over the last couple of weeks, it's been on and popping in Gemini, right? I don't know about you, but my mind has been like popcorn. Lots of ideas, lots of just things firing on all cylinders, right? So we're moving from our headspace and more into our emotional body, okay? And we've got the Sun, Venus, Mercury moving into Cancer this week, all right? So mothering, motherhood, nurturing, those are all going to be topics. Sensitivity and emotions, as well as protection and defensiveness. So these are the themes that we are going to be experiencing and that are going to play out over the next couple of weeks while we are in Cancer season. Then we have what I like to call the finale. And this is the upcoming full moon in Capricorn. So Capricorn energy generally is really like, think of it as the finish line. Imagine that you are running a marathon, right? A marathon is 26 miles. It's a long ass trip, right? That's a long ass way, right? When you start off, you're motivated, but you know how you would feel when you finally cross that finish line? That's sort of the energy of Capricorn, that success, that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is very much part of the Capricorn energy signature. And so with a full moon in Capricorn, this could be a time of endings. This could be a time of culmination, a time of success and recognition. Okay. So it's culmination, it's the finish line. And things are going to get real because, as much as Capricorn is concerned with success and the finish line, it's also a very sobering and serious sign as well. So remember, I said all of this light that we're experiencing this week is going to show you how things really are. Nothing can hide under the light of the sun, right? With the full moon in Capricorn, you are going to see things for exactly what they are. All right. So it's not necessarily to scare you. It's not a scary thing, but it's a great starting point if you need to make some changes. Okay. And then finally, we have what I like to call smoke and mirrors. Now, this is a very interesting juxtaposition of the energy because we've got the sun and the full moon really giving us the real, right? Everything is getting lit up. But then Neptune is subtly distorting things. So even though we're being shown the realness, many of us may not believe it, or we may have a very distorted perception of what we are seeing. Very interesting stuff, okay? Delusions, not seeing things clearly. However, it is a great week for creativity, and I will get into all of that starting now. All right, so let's get into the week and see exactly what we've got going on. So we've got a ton of stuff going on today. As you can see, we've got Mercury in Cancer, Venus in Cancer, Mercury square Neptune, Mercury conjunct Venus, and the moon in Scorpio. Jam-packed today. Then on Wednesday, we've got the moon moving into Sagittarius. On Thursday, we've got the sun moving into Cancer, and the sun will be squaring Neptune at the same time. And then Friday, we've got the full moon in Capricorn, which coincides with the summer solstice, and Mercury will be sextile to Mars. Then on Saturday, we've got Mercury square the North Node, and we close out things on Sunday with the moon in Aquarius. All right, so without further ado, let us jump right in. All right, so today, we've got, first up, we've got Mercury, Venus, and the sun kind of moving together through the sky. It's like they've all got their arms locked together and they're moving right along in the sky. So you'll see Venus and Mercury are both going to be at 0 degrees of Cancer, and the sun is sort of right behind them at 28 degrees of Gemini. Does that say 28 or 26? 26, 28, close enough, right? So Mercury and Venus will be moving into Cancer where they will conjunct each other. Then you've got Mercury square to Neptune. And we've got the moon in Scorpio. So you'll see the moon in Scorpio at the bottom of the chart, and then you'll see Neptune at the upper right-hand portion of the chart at 29 degrees of Pisces. So right before Venus and Mercury move into Cancer, they will both square to Neptune. All right, so let's get into it. So yesterday, which was Sunday, is when Venus squared Neptune. This is important because, like I said before, Neptune is sort of distorting our perception to the reality that we are being faced with at this time. So yesterday, Venus squared Neptune. Then today, Mercury squares Neptune. Then on Thursday, the sun will square Neptune. So Neptune is pretty much one of the major players of the astrology this week, okay? Now, Venus squaring Neptune has everything to do with how we perceive ourselves. Venus square Neptune is one of those transits, and I believe I discussed this in last week's astro forecast, but it bears mentioning because, like I said, Neptune is a major player this week. Venus square Neptune kind of makes you feel insecure about how you look. Or maybe it makes you feel insecure about your money or your self-worth or your value, right? So while other people may say, oh my gosh, you look so pretty, or you're so well put together, in your mind, you're like, are you kidding me? What are you looking at? Because I feel like I look like a mess. I've got a pimple on my face. I don't look good. I look fat. It's like that fun house mirror. I think that's exactly how I described it last week. It's like looking in a fun house mirror. Now, with Venus and Mercury now in Cancer, whereas when both of these planets are in Gemini, it has a lot to do with what you think. However, now with both of these planets in Cancer, it has to do with how you feel and being extra sensitive. So not only are you having a distorted perception of the reality that's being shown to you right now, it's making you feel sensitive. It's making you feel crabby. It's making you feel like shit, perhaps. Okay. So understand that this will pass. This is a week that has a lot of, I want to say, paradoxical energy, where it's like real but not real, sensitive but in our head, right? You kind of just have to ride the wave and wait for these transits to sort of settle down, wait for things to pass before things start to make a little more sense, all right? So, with Mercury and Venus both in Cancer today, this is sort of being able to really analyze our emotions and being able to express how we feel. Whenever Mercury and Venus link up, it's great for socializing, it's great for relating to people. Right? This would be a great day to have conversations. This, I guess, would have been a great day because the day is almost over. But this would have been a great day to meet someone for lunch, to meet someone for coffee, to really bond with someone emotionally, right? And if there's a special someone in your life, whoever it is, it's one of those days where you find it easier to express how you feel, express your love, and show affection. Okay. But keep in mind, Cancer is an interesting sign, right? Cancer is all about our emotions, right? It's the first of the water signs. It's a cardinal water sign. So it has a lot to do, again, with our emotions and our sensitivities and our mood. Our mood can be very, I don't want to say volatile, but it can be very much like the ocean, right? High tide and low tide. So with Mercury and Venus both in Cancer, what I want to convey is that perhaps what you say or what you hear may change your mood. Perhaps how you view yourself or how others view you may change your mood. So, suffice it to say that during Cancer season, people tend to be a little more moody, a little more defensive, a little more sensitive. Okay. So, mind what you say, right? And with Neptune in the mix, it can lead to misunderstandings, things going over your head, miscommunication that would lead to people getting very sensitive, getting defensive, feeling like you slighted them, right? Even though the intention was not there to do so. So it can be one of those transits that can be kind of annoying, especially if someone is really in their feelings and you know that you're not trying to hurt them or, say anything to make them upset, but they just tend to be hypersensitive right now. So keep that in mind. Okay. And then to top it all off, we've got the moon in Scorpio. Moon in Scorpio is all about intense emotions. So between today and I want to say Wednesday, if you're feeling extra sensitive, if you're feeling like your emotions are all over the place, if you're feeling very moody, if you're feeling like even some emotions are coming up from the past, is definitely the astrology, and you are definitely not alone. It's one of those. It's one of those transits, or it's one of those days, or a couple of days, I should say, when you know how crabs will just retreat. Do they retreat into their shells? I don't know. I don't think so. Sometimes I try to give you guys the best like analogies and they just come out really jacked up. But I guess no. Yeah, this analogy isn't gonna work. It's like having that hard shell that crabs have as a defense mechanism may be your best bet at this time because you just may be feeling too much. All right. I don't know if you've seen this on Instagram or somewhere else on social media. It's like It's this video of a crab that's like, it's got like a knife in its claw and it's walking and it has this knife, right? That's how people may be feeling over the next couple of days. So be easy with people, have grace for people, have grace for yourself, because everyone may be feeling a little moody, a little aggy, a little sensitive. All right. Other than that, that's pretty much it for today. But it is probably going to be a day when you're definitely going to feel the shift in energy. And I use the word feel intentionally because we're talking about all of these planets moving into the sign of Cancer. So we're going from your mind's all over the place to now kind of your emotions all over the place. It's not going to be like this all season. However, this is definitely how we're kicking things off. All right. So let's keep it moving. So next up on Wednesday, we've got the moon moving into Sagittarius, and you will see that at the bottom portion of the chart, moon is at 0 degrees of Sagittarius. So this is one of my favorite moon placements because Sagittarius is such an optimistic sign. All right. Now we're making our way to the full moon, so things are really building in momentum. Sagittarius is really concerned with the bigger picture. And so when the moon is in Sagittarius, we kind of leave the details behind and we really focus on the bigger picture. We keep our eyes on the prize. It's when you feel good about where you're headed. And when you feel good about where you're headed, you're more inclined to take action steps. Now remember, Sagittarius is a fire sign. So when the moon is in Sagittarius, we get our emotional satisfaction from taking action steps toward our bigger picture. All right, that's the perfect way to sum it up. So be optimistic, dream whatever you want to dream. Dream a big dream when the moon is in Sagittarius. And I feel like this moon in Sagittarius will add some levity to a very emotionally packed early part of the week. So Monday and Tuesday, again, emotions all over the place. Then by Wednesday, when the moon moves into Sagittarius, you're kind of maybe able to get out of your feelings and focus on the bigger picture. All right. So it's a great day to dream. It's a great day to be a little adventurous, take a little risk, and do something different. Venture out of your comfort zone, especially as it relates to your goal, whatever you're trying to manifest, AKA your bigger picture. All right. Let's keep it moving. All right. So on Thursday, Cancer season officially begins, and the sun will join Venus and Mercury in the sign of Cancer. And at the same time, the sun will square Neptune, and you will see Venus, Mercury, and the sun at the top portion of the chart in Cancer. And at the bottom right hand portion, you will see Neptune, little blue trident at 29 degrees of Pisces. So one thing that I want to add about the Neptune transits this week is that Neptune is at the 29th degree of Pisces. Whenever a planet is at the last degree of a sign, it's ultra intense. And keep in mind that Pisces is the home sign for Neptune. So Neptune is really lit. Neptune is firing on all cylinders right now. So it's lending to a very large sense of delusion right now. If you think a lot of people are crazy, if you think a lot of people are delusional, you can definitely blame Neptune and Pisces. And that's only going to ramp up as Neptune remains at the 29th degree of Pisces. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I want to mention this so that you guys start understanding this, especially as it relates to the astrology in the coming months. 2025 is a year that is going to have a lot of dynamic energy. 2024 is the build up to that. We have several outer planets. And when I say outer planets, I mean Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, those kind of planets. They're all going to be changing signs. And that means that we're going to have a very dramatic shift in energy. For instance, Neptune has been in Pisces since 2012. So over the last 12 years, Neptune has been in the same sign. Now, all of a sudden, we're going to be starting a new cycle with Neptune in Aries, which is going to have a completely different energy signature than the last 12 years. So I want you guys to get ready, start getting ready and well, I'll help you guys get ready. Let me say that because you can get ready, but you don't know exactly what you're getting ready for, right? I will be helping you guys get ready for this dynamic energy shift. But I say all that to say that with Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces, we are really feeling the delusion. I told you, it's like this week, it's like looking at a funhouse mirror. You're not necessarily seeing things clearly. Neptune is distorting this reality that's really trying to find us right now. With the sun in Cancer, the summer solstice, the full moon in Capricorn, it's like the sun is reaching us. The sun is trying to reach us. And Neptune is making it like a partly cloudy day. You can't necessarily see the sun in its fullness because Neptune is putting these clouds all over the place. So things are becoming distorted. Now, Neptune, particularly Neptune in Pisces. Neptune in Pisces is all about film. It's all about the media. Okay. So delusions and misinformation are going to be like ramping up majorly right now. There are going to be many, many people who will not know which end is up. It's going to be quite difficult to discern what is real and what's not, what's true and what's false. Because Neptune is making things real wavy. Neptune is making things really shady. Like I said in the highlight section, it's smoke and mirrors. So you really have to use your discernment. And when I say use your discernment, you're not necessarily relying on your logic. Your discernment is when you are in connection with your highest self. Your highest self can see above the clouds of Neptune. You know how, like, when you're on a plane and when you reach that cruising altitude, you're cruising above the clouds. And even though when you took off, it may have been a cloudy day or even a partly cloudy day, by the time you get to cruising altitude, what do you see? Clear blue skies and the sun. Always. Always. It lets you know the sun always shines. Whether it is raining, snowing, clouding, hurricane, tornado, the sun always shines. The truth is always the truth. And you know who knows the truth at all times? You do. Never forget that. You always know the truth. You always have access to the truth. Do not rely on outside sources, external sources to give you the truth. Your higher self will know the truth always. Whatever you need to know, you always have within you. So this is the time for you to really get comfortable and really get familiar, or for some, get acquainted with your highest self. Your highest self will guide you to the people who are disseminating the truth. Okay, that's super important right now. And here in the United States, we are entering election season. And yeah, with Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces and delusion being at an all-time high, this is going to be one of the most interesting elections probably in our nation's history. But that's another story for another day. Either way, when it comes to what you're being exposed to this week, what you are hearing, even what you are thinking, understand that there may be a distortion in your perception. Okay. Now, with the sun moving into Cancer, sort of goes back to what I was saying before with Mercury and Venus moving into Cancer. We're very much in tune with our emotions. We are sensitive, we are moody, but we're also very psychic. We're also very nurturing. Cancer is the water that waters the seeds of what we are planting. The seeds that we want to see grow, the seeds that we want to come to fruition, it is our emotions. It is Cancer that waters them. Cancer is also very much concerned with healing. So this is a time when you kind of get out of your head, you get into your heart space, you get into your emotions, and you heal. You heal, okay? It's also a great time for family, specifically mothers and motherhood. Okay. Um, Now it doesn't necessarily have to mean your physical mother. It could be a mother figure, or it could be something that you are mothering. What are you nurturing? What are you protecting? Okay. Also has to do with family. Cancer is a sign that it's really related to or really has a lot to do with domestic affairs. So I find that invariably every Cancer season, I've either visited family or family has visited me. So, whatever transpires in Cancer season and wherever Cancer is in your natal chart, there could be an undercurrent of family or mother or mothering energy over the next 4 weeks. All right. Um, that's pretty much it for Thursday. Like I said, Sun square Neptune. I think I've talked about that enough. And Sun into Cancer, we're getting sensitive, we're getting into our emotions, and we're starting to nurture the things that we want to give life to. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, so Friday is a major day of the week. Number one, it is the summer solstice. Number two, we've got the full moon in Capricorn. And then we also have Mercury sextile to Mars. So, full moons are when the sun and the moon are directly opposite from each other. So, at the left hand side of the chart, you will see the moon is at 1 degree of Capricorn. And on the exact opposite side of the chart, you will see that the sun is at 1 degree of Cancer. Plus, we also have Mercury in Cancer at 9 degrees, is going to be sextile to Mars, which is also at 9 degrees, but of Taurus. And you'll see Mars at the bottom right hand portion of the chart. All right. So, I'm going to be going live, like I said, tomorrow to talk about the full moon in Capricorn. So definitely tap into that. Suffice it to say that this is going to be an interesting full moon cycle because we've got a full moon on Friday in Capricorn. And then in July, we have another full moon in the sign of Capricorn. So wherever Capricorn is in your chart, it's like the universe is putting an exclamation point to whatever comes to light. You're going to have two chances or you're going to have two situations where something in your life is emphasized or something repeats itself. Or because you said what time tomorrow? 5:30 p.m. is going to be the live all on the full moon in Capricorn. Because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn and Saturn has everything to do with sort of culmination, you may have something that really ends between June and July. And not necessarily ends in the same way that Pluto ends things. When we're talking about endings with Pluto, we're talking about complete decimation, right? We're talking about a wrecking ball. There's no coming back from it. When we talk about endings with Capricorn, aka Saturn, because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, we're talking about graduation. So, technically, like when you're in school, right? You go from 8th grade to high school or whatever grade to secondary school, right? I mean, technically, you could go back to 8th grade even if you've passed. I don't know why you would, but 8th grade still exists. You're just moving on to the next level. And that's exactly what this full moon in Capricorn is going to be like. It is graduation time, it is culmination. Okay. Now, Capricorn being ruled by Saturn has a lot to do with things like obstacles, challenges, limitations, right? But because it's the finish line, it's almost like you've gotten to the point where you've overcome adversity, you've jumped all the hurdles, and now you're finally crossing the finish line. That's kind of what this feels like. Saturn also is karma. Okay. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos, you will know that karma doesn't have a moral aspect to it. We as humans decided that karma has to be this retributive or even punitive kind of energy, and it's really not. Think of karma as like a boomerang. What you put out there comes back. It's literally cause and effect. Now, Saturn also rules time. So this could be something that is coming back around after a long time. So, for instance, if you've been working hard, let's say you've been working hard at your job, let's say Capricorn is your 10th house of career. You've been working hard at your job for years. You've been passed over for promotions. You've been given a title change, but no extra money. You've had to deal with managers and supervisors that didn't know their ass from their elbow. Like, it's just been a whole thing, right? This full moon in Capricorn could see you being promoted with more money, or could see you finally being comfortable in a new position, or maybe you finally get that corner office, or maybe you get an award or you get recognition, right? It's this long time coming energy that's coming to a crescendo at this full moon. Now, what's interesting is that this full moon in Capricorn, as opposed to the full moon in Capricorn that's going to happen next month, is happening at the first degree. The first degree is initiation, it's something new. So, like I said, you just graduated from eighth grade, you just graduated from middle school, and now you're starting high school. Or maybe you just graduated from high school and you are starting college. There's an element of starting something new with this full moon. And also, full moons illuminate. It's going to show you the real. It's going to show you what's really good. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. If what you're seeing is not what you like I said before, you could always change it, especially with our words, right? Jupiter and Gemini is helping us get our words together so we can speak things into existence. So, this is really a great time of endings and new beginnings, and sort of getting a pat on the back for work, for hard work that you've been doing over a long period of time. Now, if you haven't been doing any hard work, guess what? This full moon in Capricorn is going to show you how much work you have to go. It may show you how much more of that race, that marathon you have left. And that's a good thing too, because you need to know where you are to know how far from where you need to be. So, illumination is going to be a thing with this full moon in Capricorn. And we're starting something new, and we've graduated, and we're feeling good, and we're feeling motivated even to start something new. So, it's going to be really special. Then we've got Mercury sextile Mars. All right. Now, Mars is currently in Taurus, not necessarily the most comfortable sign. And Mercury is in Cancer. All right. So when you have sextiles, it means opportunity. Now, it's not just going to fall into your lap. These are opportunities that are going to present themselves, but you're going to have to take action, right? And action is the key word here because of Mars. Now, Mars in Taurus is a little slow moving, though. So Mars in Taurus means that you're going to have opportunities to take action, but this is action that's going to require work. It's going to require some building of some sort. And then with Mercury in Cancer, we're watering our thoughts with our emotions. So this is great for manifesting, right? Because we're thinking things that are going to become our reality. We're speaking things into existence. And now with Mercury in Cancer, we're putting emotion behind it. We're feeling what it feels like to have it already. We're feeling what it's like to be the thing that it is that we want, right? And then Mars is going to be like, all right, I see you. All right, let me bring in this person who can help facilitate that. Or maybe you're getting money or some other resource that can help you facilitate this thing that you are creating via your thoughts and your words and your emotions. All right. So Friday is going to be a great day for manifesting. And in conjunction with the full moon in Capricorn, it's like you can kind of get a glimpse of what this next level is going to be like. So if you are someone who has attended college, right? You finished high school and now you're in college and the world looks so different, right? Whereas you had very limited choices when it came to what you could learn in high school, in college, it's almost like the sky's the limit. So now you're in this new environment where doors are open and you have access to more. So, what is it that you want? What are you trying to create in this new level, this elevated level that you are experiencing with this full moon in Capricorn? All right. So, Friday's going to be a great day to take some time and figure out what you want your next level to look like. Think it, speak it, feel it, and the resources and what you need to facilitate will find you. All right. Let's keep it moving. All right. On Saturday, we've got Mercury square the North Node. So Mercury still in Cancer. It's at 12 degrees of Cancer, which you'll see at the upper right hand portion of the chart. Then, the bottom of the chart, that little horseshoe looking thing is the North Node, and it is at 12 degrees of Aries. All right. So, whenever we talk about the North Node, we are talking about our North Star. We're talking about where we are headed. It's sort of the it's it's like it's our dharma essentially. It is where we are going in this lifetime. Now, the North Node is currently in Aries. So Aries is about starting something new. Some of us may be on a very different path, but this path is really in alignment with not only who we are, but what we are to accomplish in this lifetime. Now, there's going to be a little frustration between where we're headed, right? And our desire to head in that direction and sort of what we're feeling, or perhaps what people may be saying to us that may elicit certain thoughts and emotions. Give you a perfect example. So, you're in, you're, sorry, again, my words escape me today. You are connected with your highest self, right? You and your highest self are like this. And your highest self is like, listen, we're starting something new right now. I don't know why this came to me, but this was actually a very brief goal of mine when I was in high school. And I don't really think I've ever really shared this with anyone because if you know me personally, I've wanted to be an attorney since I was 4. I became an attorney at age 27. However, for a brief stint in high school, I wanted to be a meteorologist. Don't know why. Even though, okay, I just realized this. I'm kind of like a meteorologist right now. I give you the astrological weather report every Monday, right? So I kind okay myself. I kind of fulfilled that destiny or that goal. Okay. Sorry. Tangent. But anyway, your highest self is like, listen, you're gonna be a meteorologist. And you're like, what? You're like, okay, I dig it. Let's do this. Now, meteorology requires a lot of science. And I'm not even going to lie to you, science was not my forte. Astrology science is, but like earth science and all of that and physics, not the best at it. However, your North Node is like meteorologist. That's all you see. That's what you're headed. It's like, it just clicks for you. It makes sense. And so maybe you're enrolling, depending on how old you are, maybe you're enrolling in college courses, science courses, or maybe you've already graduated and you're re-enrolling in college, maybe to get another bachelor's or to add more science coursework to your repertoire, right? Cool. You're fine with it. But maybe your family and your friends are like, what are you doing? Like, you're going to go back to school at your age? Or, you're not that good at science, right? Or meteorology, what kind of job are you going to get with that? Like, and because Mercury is in Cancer, it's going to hurt. Like, you're going to be very sensitive because here you are in the zone, in connection with your highest self. You feel like you're on the right track. And then you've got people telling you bullshit, shit that you don't want to hear, things that hurt, things that make you question whether you're even on the right path, right? I say this. When you are given your assignment, when you are given a vision, it's a private call. It's not a conference call. Not everyone is meant to know your vision, and it's not their vision to know anyway. And that can be hard sometimes because a lot of times when we're talking about our North Node, when we're talking about sort of what we're meant to do in this lifetime, it comes with a lot of doubt. Or it can come with uncertainty, especially because we don't necessarily know exactly the pathway that we're going to take. Sometimes we feel like we've got all this clarity. Other times we feel like we're completely in the dark. And then when you have commentary from the peanut gallery, you're like, am I really supposed to even be doing this? I don't get it. Why aren't they supporting me? Or why are they tearing me down? Sometimes people's negative actions or negative commentary toward you is really just a reflection of the negativity that they have within them. When you are aligned with what you are supposed to do, it makes people feel a kind of way sometimes because they may not be doing what they're supposed to be doing. Seeing you living in your truth, living in your light, doing what you're supposed to do, despite whatever circumstances are present, makes people feel some kind of way because they're psyching themselves out about what they're supposed to be doing. And noticing that you're not doing the same rubs them the wrong way. That's not your problem at all. It's not your problem at all. Stay the course. Understand that this too shall pass. This is a very quick transit. So this may not even really affect you like that. This could also be your emotions psyching you out as well, right? Maybe you're fearful. Maybe you're doubtful. Maybe you're unsure. Maybe you're resentful or angry about something, which kind of could derail you from your path, although it won't. But it just may make you feel this tension and this frustration in the fulfillment of your destiny. Okay. So take whatever people say with a grain of salt. They're typically just aggy themselves. They don't even, some people don't even know why they are here. The fact that you do rubs them the wrong way and makes it seem like they're slackers. Not that they're slackers. Not everyone is meant to wake up in this lifetime. Not everyone is meant to fulfill their destiny in this particular incarnation. So just let it pass. It's not that serious. All right, let's keep it moving. And finally, we close out the week on Sunday with the moon moving into Aquarius. And you will see that at the left-hand portion of the chart, the moon is at 0 degrees of Aquarius. And I want you to take notice of the planet that is right next to the moon. That is Pluto. And Pluto is at 1 degree of Aquarius. So, moon in Aquarius. Now that we've come out of the full moon in Capricorn, we're now moving into the waning phase. And the waning phase of the moon is when we let go of what no longer serves us. It's the 2 weeks of the month where we banish and get rid of what we don't need. And so when the moon is in Aquarius, we have an eye to the future. Aquarius is all about improving, inventing, and innovating. And Aquarius is a very futuristic sign. So anything that's not taking you into the future that you don't need, gotta go, right? Old stories, old narratives, old paradigms, old structures, things that just aren't gonna serve you in the future. Perfect example. I don't know how old you would be, but you would be a little old, given this example. You still have a rotary phone. I don't know why, but you do. What do you think you're going to do with that? Do you think that you can actually make calls with it right now? Or better yet, in the next 5 years, do you think you can make a call with a rotary phone? And I'm not talking about a novel rotary phone that's really digital. I'm talking about really old school rotary phone. If you don't even know what I'm talking about, please Google it. Depending on how old you are, you might not even know what the hell I'm talking about. Phone where you got to do the little circle thing, right? Where you got to dial the number in the circle. It wasn't even push buttons, rotary, right? You cannot make a call with a rotary phone. So if you still have one in your possession, if you're still relying on one for communication, what does that say? Right? It's a very extreme example, but I want to show you how technology has advanced so much. A phone that was a mainstay in our homes. When I was a child, we had a rotary phone in our home. And it took you a good 2 minutes to call someone because you had to wait for the little circle thing to go all the way around before you could dial another number, right? Everything was analog back then. Anything that's analog, you can barely use it now. It won't work. You got to let it go. Old mindset that do not serve you and definitely won't serve you in the future. Those got to go too. Now, like I said, the moon is going to conjunct Pluto while it is in Aquarius. So this is all about changing your mindset in a major way. So, you know how I talked about Saturn and Pluto earlier? in context of the full moon in Capricorn. I talked about how the full moon in Capricorn is about endings, right? But endings like graduation. You go from high school to college, but high school still exists even if you're not there. You're just at a different level, right? Pluto is complete decimation. You have a building, you take a wrecking ball to it, that building no longer exists. You can't go back to it. So, whatever is not serving you, especially mentally, and what I mean by mentally is whatever thoughts, whatever narrative, whatever beliefs that do not serve you and that will not serve you in the future, it is time to decimate them, meaning that you're not going to rely on them anymore. It's not like, oh, you know what, for right now, I will. Perfect example. Maybe this is not a perfect example and it just escaped me. Yeah. Again, my words escaped me today. I thought I had a great example, but I don't. You're not going back to these ideas. It's almost like in the Matrix, right? The movie. Once you are out of the Matrix, like you can't really go back. Why would you even want to anyway? So we're changing our mindset permanently. And with the moon in Aquarius over those 2 days, you are putting feeling behind these thoughts because the moon is our emotions. So you are changing how you think and you're putting new emotions behind them, emotions that will take you into the future, emotions that will help improve and innovate your way of thinking so that whatever you were relying on before is no longer. All right. And that is how we close out the week. That's the week in a nutshell. Like I said, an interesting paradox of energy, but much can be accomplished with all of the energy shifts this week. All right. So now let's get into some messages from Spirit. All right, so you know the deal. I will be pulling cards for messages from Spirit. I do it by sign. It could be your sun sign, moon sign, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, North Node. Doesn't matter. If it's your message, it resonates. If it's not, then it doesn't. Just let it go. All right, so let's begin with Aries. See what we got for Aries for this week. All right, Aries, we have the card entitled Fence, and this is boundaries, okay? So this is pretty much self-explanatory. This is a 26, which is an 8, all right? This is letting me know that this is an energy that will probably continue for you throughout the year. Now, for you, Cancer is your 4th house, especially if you are an Aries rising. So, there may be some boundaries you need to put in place with respect to family, perhaps with respect to a mother or mother figure, or perhaps an immediate family member. For others of you, the 4th house has a lot to do with property and your physical home. So this may be a week where you're repairing a fence, putting up a fence, demarcating your property. There's something about letting people know where they can go and where they cannot go. What will be considered trespass, right? Whether it's a physical boundary or it's an emotional boundary. I see you enforcing those this week. And don't feel bad about it. I get the sense that you don't or you won't. But it is going to be met with some resistance. And I want you to take notice that this is the picket fence. It's not a brick wall. You don't have to completely shut people out, but you have to let people know where they cannot trespass with you. And again, that's either physically or emotionally. Okay. Next up, we've got Taurus. See what we've got for Taurus for this week. Taurus, we've got mirror, which is reflection. And this is a number 20, which is a number 2. So there is a relationship that is going to reflect to you just how far you've come. This is definitely feeling like the full moon in Capricorn, right? It's going to show you how far you've come, what you've graduated toward. And everyone, at least everyone who's relevant with respect to this particular situation is going to be mirroring exactly where you are. So your litmus test is your relationships. Okay. I'm also getting this energy of sort of reciprocity. How you're feeling is how that person is feeling. And you both are mirroring exactly how you feel to each other. Okay. But this is going to be a week where it may even be a cause for celebration. You see that this is a disco ball, right? There's could be some fun. There could be a party. There could be some sort of celebration for a job well done. Okay. So this week is looking pretty good for you. All right. Next up, we've got Gemini. See what we've got for Gemini for this week. Hey, Gemini, I like this. We've got crystals and it says achievement. All right. And it's the number 9. So there's this element of finally getting to the final stage of something. You can see the finish line. You're right about to cross the finish line and you are ready to really close on something, whether it's a house, whether it is you're putting like I don't know. I'm getting like you've paid the final deposit or something is really final, like you really achieved it. And this could feel like a feat or something that seemed almost impossible at the start. You didn't know how you were going to get the money. You didn't know how that you didn't know how this was going to come together. And finally, it's coming together. So I get the sense that there is this really big feeling of contentment and fulfillment this week for you because something is finally coming to a culmination after a long and arduous road. Okay. Next, we've got Cancer. See what we've got for Cancer for this week. All right, Cancer, we have the card of the Sunflower, which is action. This is number 34, which is 7. And I love the number 7 in numerology because it is the combination of intellect and intuition. And so for you, this is a week where you are being guided to take action with respect to something. However, it's not just enough for you to use your intuition. You guys are extremely intuitive. I'll dare say that most of you move almost exclusively from your intuition. But this is a week where you'll want to do your research. You'll want to make sure that whatever your intuition is telling you makes a logical sense. Now, it typically does, but there's this element of research that I think is going to be extremely important for you this week. Sort of exercising your brain and your intuition and having them work together to take action on something that may put you in the spotlight, something that may get you recognized. This could be networking. This could be putting out an ad for your business. This could be shooting your shot with someone even. All right. Whatever it is having you open up and you're using your intellect and your intuition to guide you with respect to what action to take to do so. All right. Next up, we've got Leo. Let's see what we've got for Leo for this week. Okay, Leo, you've got 2. You've got the card Flamingo, and this is fun. And you've got coins. Good luck. Okay, so there is a fortuitous new beginning this week for you with a partner. Now, when I say partner, I don't necessarily mean romantic. This could be a business partner. This could be a friendship. And this has a lot to do with the full moon in Capricorn. I feel like the full moon in Capricorn is closing out a cycle. And this week, even as even on the day of the full moon, you may be starting a brand new cycle with somebody and it's fortuitous, it is fun, it's lighthearted, everything that you love, everything that is the energy signature of Leo. This feels like you, it feels comfortable, it feels natural. All right. So if you find that you are hesitating to take this new step, especially with somebody, or if you feel sort of beaten down by everything you've just finished, understand that you don't have to take things so seriously right now. Let's say that this was to be a relationship. This could be a really great relationship. It could be a relationship for the long haul, but you don't have to approach it so seriously at the outset. Like just have fun. Have fun, enjoy each other's company, focus on friendship, focus on good times, right? And then let things just sort of naturally unfold. But you are starting something new this week with somebody else, and it's going to be glorious. It's, again, fortuitous and fun. 2 really good F words. All right, next up, we've got Virgo. Let's see what we have for Virgo for this week. Virgo, you have the card entitled Stars, and it is divine guidance. It's 33, which reduces to a 6. 6 is the number of Venus. All right. So you are being guided with respect to money matters. Could also be love matters as well, but I'm getting money more so. There is a position of power. There is a position of notoriety, or you see how a star shines, right? Like this is like the top of the tree. This is the thing that you notice. You're being guided to sort of step into the spotlight to shine, right? And this could directly affect your bottom line. So you may have had a lot of ideas or a lot of opportunities present themselves. And it's really important that you don't overthink or overanalyze all of these opportunities. Rather, get in alignment with your highest self and allow the divine to guide you as to which opportunities to take, which ones to not take, and how to take these opportunities. Because not only will you be seen and noticed, but you will also be paid. All right. So it's great energy for you this week. Next, we've got Libra. Let's see what we have for Libra for this week. All right, Libra, we have Globe, which is possibility, and this is a 31. All right. Now, this is an interesting paradox, right? Because every time I see this card, I think of like world travel, right? Possibilities are endless. Whereas you've got the number 31, which reduces to a 4, which is all about stability. So this lets me know that money is going to start to look up to the point where now you can start making new moves. Okay. You may have felt stuck and stagnant for a while, probably perhaps because your resources just weren't there or you didn't feel stable. It's almost like when you don't have like a stable home or a stable headquarters, it's very hard to make decisions and make moves because you don't know where you're going to be based. But it's almost like you have a home base now. You have a headquarters that isn't going to change. And so now you can make different moves. So the possibilities are endless. So this feels like expansion for you this week. Okay. Now, what I'm being told is that, you know how Neptune is sort of distorting things this week? The one thing that I failed to mention extensively is that Neptune is great for creativity. So, this is going to be a week where you really want to tap into your creativity. A lot of these possibilities are going to reawaken your creative facilities. So now you can take these creative moves, you can make these creative moves because you have a certain amount of stability in your life. So, get to moving. All right. Next up, we've got Scorpio. Let's see what we've got for Scorpio for this week. Scorpio, we've got the card Butterfly Metamorphosis. This is you all day. This is number 22, which reduces to a 4. All right. So there is a major transformation happening for you this week. Okay. And, for you, I talked about how, that full moon in Capricorn, and I talked about Saturn, how Saturn is an ending because you're leveling up. For you, I feel like you're not only leveling up, but what you're leveling up from will likely cease to exist. Like you're not going to go back to that lower level at any time because it won't be there. There's a complete transformation at this time for you. And you guys are the kings and queens of transformation. So this is par for the course for you. You feel like yourself. You're more than equipped to handle it, but it's a new level. A new and profound level that really may have you spreading your wings, or it may be time to fly. Some of you may be taking a trip by plane. Others of you may really be moving. Okay, maybe you're moving to a new location. You're relocating. Others of you, it's time to take flight this week. What you're leaving, you're not going to come back to. But that's just how you like it. Because again, you guys are the kings and queens of transformation. All right. Next up, we've got Sagittarius. Let's see what we've got for Sagittarius. For this week. I'm not going to take that one. Let's try this again. Okay. Hi, Sag. I like this for you. We have coins, which is good luck. And this is number 10, which is a number 1. So it is a new beginning. It's a fortuitous new beginning. All right. Again, the full moon in Capricorn is really pronounced this week. I'm finding that a lot of these readings really speak to this full moon in Capricorn energy. And with this being 10, which reduces to a 1, and this full moon going down at the 1st degree of Capricorn, this is a new beginning for you. And this new beginning may have a lot to do with career and money. Okay. And I feel like it's the start of a new position. So maybe you just got a promotion, or maybe you just got a new job, or maybe you're opening the doors to your business, or maybe you're taking your business in a new direction. But this week is the week that you are going to start. And it's going to be very, very good. All right. There's also this element of asking for money for some. So if you need a loan, if you need some kind of funding or financing, I feel like shortly after or before the new moon, not new moon, the full moon in Capricorn, you may want to do so, because I feel like you're definitely going to get it. Okay. Speaking of Capricorn, next up, we've got Capricorn. Let's see what you've got for this week. Ooh. Yes, I will not be taking this. Next one. Try this again. Here we go. We have power lines, and this is energy. This is a number 36, which is a 9. All right. So something is about to be energized. I'm almost seeing like I don't want to call it, yeah, I guess it could be like a circuit breaker, right? And when you switch it to the side and then everything sort of energizes. So there is something that you set up, right? Imagine how long it has taken to erect all of these power lines. You've been erecting these things for months, for years even, and now it's time to start running the power through them. So there's something that you've built that is now ready to be energized. It's ready to be taken online. And I feel like this is the week where you are going to be doing that. All right. Now I'm being guided to think about Cancer energy and how Cancer is sort of the opposite of Capricorn energy. So this energizing of whatever this is has a lot to do with your emotions. It's your emotions that are powering this power grid or these power lines. All right. So put your feeling into it. You've already put in the hard work. You've put in the manual labor by erecting these power lines, right? Now you've got to fuel it. Now you've got to turn on that energy, and that energy is your emotions. All right. And your emotions are going to nurture the work that you've already done. All right. Next up, we've got Aquarius. All right, Aquarius, you've got Labyrinth, which is Journey. All right. This is a 15, which reduces to a 6. So this is, again, this Venusian kind of energy. When it comes to a particular relationship, and I want you to look at this card real quick, you've got one little thing over here and another little thing over there, right? There's two people who are on two separate journeys, but at some point, their journeys are going to converge, okay? I get the sense that these two people don't even realize that they're on a journey that's going to converge. So I feel like this is going to be a week where perhaps you are meeting someone unexpectedly, you're communicating with someone unexpectedly, or you just realize that you're a lot more in sync with someone than you initially thought you were. But this person is significant. This person is important. This person is on this journey with you. Okay. So this is also letting me know that you are not alone. Even if you feel like you are alone, you are not. You are supported. And there's someone who has a certain amount of empathy for you. They have this empathy because they're on the same journey as you. So they get it and they get you. This is very beautiful energy for you. And of course, last but certainly not least, we've got Pisces. Let's see what we've got for Pisces for this week. Pisces, you've got 2. Oh my gosh. We've got coins, good luck. And we've got crystals, achievement. This is screaming promotion. This is screaming pay raise. This is screaming like sales, especially if you have your own business or something like that. So things are looking good for money this week. Things are looking fortunate. There is a certain leveling up that you are going to be able to achieve, perhaps in business, at work, or with money. All right. So soak it up. Going to be a really good time, and it's going to allow you to start something new. I feel like this money is going to allow you to start something new, go in a new direction, which is probably something that you've been trying to do for a while, but it wasn't the right time before. I feel like this is the week where it's finally the right time. All right, my love. So that concludes this edition of the weekly Astro Forecast. I sincerely hope that you were able to get at least one important piece of information that you can use going into this week. For information on all of my products and services, they are either tagged to the video or in the description box below. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, going live tomorrow to discuss the full moon in Capricorn, so tap in. I wish you nothing but the absolute best for this coming week, and I will see you next time. Take care, my loves.